And we are live. Excellent, excellent. Well, good morning. I'm Dan Gentry, and it is time for your morning motivation. Today, we are talking about no, the power of no, power of boundaries, and all that goes along with that. And how do we make that real in our world now? All right. So, the power of no. Uh, It's all about boundaries. It really is. It's, you know, everything. I had a mentor that once told me that everything that you say yes to means you say no to everything else. And I remember at the time that was like mind blowing. I hadn't really thought of it that way. But the reality of it is that we only have so much time, we only have so much energy, we only have so much of ourselves. So everything that we're saying yes to takes a piece of that away. So we need to be really, really careful. What are we saying yes to? In my TEDx talk, the phrase that everybody remembered and liked was, if you're not going towards your purpose, when you have a decision to make, it's either hell yes or it's no, right? And I feel like so many of us, myself included, we say yes to meh things, right? Where it's not it wasn't a hell yes. I guess maybe, right? And life is too short. Life is too short to say yes to things, right? So I want to go through, use the atomic triad, the foundation framework manifestation to help us understand saying no, help us set some boundaries, and have a third power life. Sound good? Excellent. All right. So the foundation is really it's about our core values. Who are we really? In our spirit, in our soul, who are we really? And why are we here? Right? It all comes back to purpose, right? That's what it's about. And so we need to understand, what do we stand for? Why are we here? Right? Um, if we want a life a certain way, right? For me, I'm here trying to change generational habits. I'm here trying to make the song Cats in the Cradle just a song and not a story about anybody. I'm trying to help people live a third power life, right? How can I, if that's my purpose, if that's my true aim in life, how can I be doing things that are just not in alignment with that? Right? Why am I saying yes to um, fast food? Why am I saying yes to um, binge watching a show on TV? That's incongruent with who I am, right? I need to be saying no to those things, right? That's That's what that's what it's about. It's about making the proper choice. And the way that you do that proper choice is you get very, very clear on who you are and what you want out of this life. It's just that simple, right? If you don't know, if you're drifting, if you don't know who you are or what you're doing, and I was there for a long, long time. Decades of my life were spent drifting, where I didn't really know what I wanted. I want more. I want more money. I want a bigger house. Why? Right? That it's hard to make decisions when you don't know why you're making them. So find out your why. Find your purpose. Okay. So the foundation Who are you? What do you want? What's your foundation? What's the guidepost for you to make a decision and to be able to say no? What do I say yes to? What do I say no to, right? Foundation is your purpose. Now the framework is what is your capacity, right? What are you capable of doing? What do you have the time, the energy, the money, whatever, right? What fits in your world? In software development and agile methodology, you talk, you say, "Hey, okay, here's the team, here's their capacity, here's the number of points, story points, if you're into that kind of geeky thing, right? And here's all of the stuff that we have to do. Here's what fits in this next 2-week sprint, right? And then what doesn't, that goes to the future. Not going to worry about it." Are we doing that in our lives? Right? What do you have the capacity to do? And then what's the priority of those things that you're wanting to do? What can you do? And do you have to say no to? Right? It's a simple, a simple calculation, right? There was a period of time where I had so many different activities, where it was every single day of the week, every single night of the week, there were kids' activities. And, there was a period where we had multiple activities for every day, Monday, Sunday through Saturday, right? There was always something going on. And, and then, I was still saying yes to other things. I'm like, it's not sustainable. You're going to burn yourself out. And so, you know, what can you do? What's your capacity, right? And then when you get that in your mind, it's one of the things that I do with my coaching clients is to let's do a time map. Where does in a normal day, where does your day go? And then list all of the activities you have, all the things that you're doing, right? And is that sustainable, right? And when something else comes along, when a great opportunity comes along, will you be able to say yes? Because this is the other side of that planning and software development is you say, okay, if the team can do 20 points, we're going to allocate 16, right? So we've got some buffer for stuff that comes up. And let me ask you, in your life, does stuff come up? Right? Yes. So always have a little bit of spare capacity to be able to say yes to things that truly ultimately align with your purpose. So that's the framework, right? The foundation, who are you? What's your purpose? The framework, what's your capacity? What are your limitations? Right? And then finally the manifestation is it's the art of saying no. It's the practice. It's doing it, right? You know, how do you learn to say no? The reality is you do it, you practice it, and say no to little things. And for me, where I started, because I never wanted to like hurt anybody's feelings, or I was like trying to be soft and like I don't know, maybe, right? I would use maybe, and the unlimited variations of we'll see, maybe, I don't know, that's interesting, let me think about it, right? And in every case I knew the answer was no. I mean, saw a great thing about, if an introvert says, I might come, they're not coming, right? And that was me. If I was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, that sounds good, I'll try. I'm not coming. No, right? So what I would tell you is when you feel that, or even when you hear yourself say the word maybe, or whatever your variation of that is, say, actually, no, sorry, right? And do it nicely. Um, no shouting no at people. That tends to freak them out. But practice saying the word no. No, thank you. No, can't do that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not in my schedule, or, you know, unfortunately, no, I don't have any time to do that, right? But say no. Practice it. It's a muscle like anything else, right? The more you do it, the better you will get at it, and the less awkward it will feel. Because we all feel a little awkward sometimes, right? So say no. Practice it. If you have to, go to a restaurant and, when they say, "Do you want dessert?" No. Right? Well, however you need to do it, look at yourself in the mirror and say no. Actually, that's a really good exercise. Go walk to the mirror, look at yourself, and just say, "No. Nope. No. I'm sorry. I value my time too much. No." Right? And how does that sound? How does that feel in your body? Right? And look at that. Do you get a tension right here, right at your solar plexus? That's a sign. If you're saying no and you get that tension right there, that's your self-doubt. That's right. So understand that it's okay to say no and to set boundaries. It's necessary for a good life, necessary for a third power life, right? Okay. So creating a life that we want, a balanced life, life to the third power requires boundaries. It requires no. Your foundation. Who am I? What am I all about? What's my purpose? What can I say yes and no to? The framework is, what is my capacity? What am I capable of doing at this point? I always want to work to grow more, but right now, what can I do? And then the manifestation is actually practice saying no, so that when it comes to an important time, you can do it properly. You can do it with conviction. That is how you live your life to the third power. That is how you have boundaries. All right. So now it's time to go practice. Okay. All right. Till tomorrow, my friends, keep living your life to the third power, set good boundaries, have a fantastic life, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Third Power Life podcast. Before you go, one quick question for you. Where are you on the path of life? Are you just drifting through your life? Are you fully in command, somewhere in between? Well, you can find out where you are now by taking my new Commander Survey. It will tell you where you are on your growth journey and how to move yourself to the next level. You can find the link on the screen or in the show notes. Now, all I want to know now is, where do you stand?